It's probably the most ghetto diesel heater setup you've ever seen. I thought I'd talk a bit about them and show you the setups, because they're pretty neat and they're only getting cheaper on eBay at the moment. So this guy looks a bit worse for weather. It's been out here for just over 12 months. So initially I found them on eBay and I bought one for the caravan, and I wasn't anywhere near ready to be putting it in the caravan. So we had a bit of a heating cooling issue in the house at the time, and we just had a newborn baby, so we put a little splitty up here. Bathroom, which was like separate to the bedroom, which we could close down for sleeping with these bifold doors, was just so cold. It just never heated up properly. So we had a little window here, and what I ended up doing is taking the fly screen out and putting this board in, just a temporary board. It's only held in with two little screws at the top, just sort of wedging it in. And the control panel for the diesel heater and the outlet just sit here. And I didn't at the time know how good the heater was going to be, so it was just going to be a temporary thing. And the heater's so good now, I might end up moving that vent permanently into one of the walls down here, just so that we don't have to keep this set up anymore, because we can get the window back and you've got a vent down through the mud brick, maybe even down in the corner here, because this is just a blank cover plate. I could just widen that hole up, possibly put the outlet there. And the beauty of the ghetto setup thing that I made is that it's portable. You can move it around wherever you want to move it. It's really easy to get started. It's pretty frugal to run. These guys use a 10 litre tank, or 15 in some of them, and they last us a week pretty much every night, 6 hours a night over that for that tank, so it doesn't use much fuel at all. The only problem I had out here was on this back wall that cops, like this cops all the weather. You can see the mud brick itself's just cracking due to the sun and the heating and cooling on it, so it cops so much weather. This needed to be in a weatherproof container, and that's where this jank thing came in. So this is just old pallets that I've ripped apart, a little bit of metal to stop the water coming into that, and it's basically in two sections. It doesn't ever come apart again, it's all glued. What I've done up here is essentially put a power supply at the top. They normally run off a battery, but to save me putting a battery out here permanently, I've just got a 12 volt computer power supply running off permanently up here. And that guy just supplies 12 volts to the diesel heater itself in this midsection. And the bottom section is where all the inlets and outlets go. So I made sure all the inlets are on the clean side over here. They're all like access from above, so no water can get in. Sorry, access from below, and that way no water can get in. And both of them are pretty watertight. So that's the clean air for the diesel heater, and that's the clean air for the exhaust. There's two separate loops in the heater itself. And on this side you've got the hot air coming out the other side of the diesel heater and that midsection of the box, and the bottom you've got the little muffler, the exhaust, and this here is just a computer fan that's pretty much permanently running. So right now, even though the diesel heater's not running, there's cold air coming out there. It just ventilates anything under here that might get hot, or any gases or anything, fumes or anything. So I didn't want to burn the place down, and it just vents it permanently. Apart from that, the fuel tank's on the back side over there. And that's pretty much it. It's a pretty jank setup, and it works. I made it in an hour or two, and it works a treat. It hasn't leaked, hasn't stopped working. So I'll just flick it on inside and show you the controller and it running, and then we'll go up the caravan and show you one that you can actually see the diesel heater itself. It's not in a glued wooden box. Alright, so inside here you've got a little remote control that it'll come with. It just flicks it on and off and changes the temperature. It's a bit hard to see this display. I left it out in the rain when we weren't using it over summer, and the LED's gone in it. I bought another display for this, and although it lights up and works, it's obviously not just compatible. It doesn't turn on properly. It says it's low voltage, all those other problems. So I went back to the old one and it seems to be going okay. If you get on the right angle like this, you can see it. If you go above it, it fades away. So you hold this guy in, flicks on. Hasn't been run for 6 months, so it might take a lot of prime up here for a second. They take about a minute or two to get going. Essentially there's a glow plug that heats up, and once that gets the temperature, the actual pump starts moving the diesel heater through the unit, and then it ignites the little burner, basically a little jet burner of diesel, and the whole thing starts getting hot. So there's cold air coming out now that's got a fan running. So inside you don't really hear anything. It's pretty silent. It just ticks along. You can just hear the tick of the fuel pump. Like it's just literally like a tick, tick, tick. So outside it's a bit noisier because you've got the computer fan, you've got the 12 volt power supply fan, and you've got the little pump itself here. So that's just a little fuel filter for the diesel. Should probably give this a bit of a clean soon. So at the moment it's not running anything except for the glow plug, so it's probably drawing a little bit of power, and that's the pump starting up right now. Yeah, there's a bit of hot air coming out that muffler now too. So they're pretty quiet. I guess if it's a really quiet night, and I've heard people saying in a campground you can just hear them ticking away, or a lot of people put them in boats, and if it's in a boat and it's just ticking away over water, you'll probably hear that sound a bit, especially if a few people are running them. But for us with the mud brick, you can't hear this guy at all really. I should probably insulate this inlet, but it's turning so much heat over, it hasn't been a problem for us at all. So that's getting warm now. This is the first time it's been started in probably 6 months, since the end of last winter, and it's not that cold today. It's probably like 18 or something, 16. Might as well see if it actually works there. I have noticed sometimes when you do a cold start on them, a little bit of smoke comes out. I don't know if for whatever reason it's not smoking now, especially the first time you use it for a week or two, a little bit of smoke comes out, but that's pretty good. So it sounds a bit like a jet engine when it gets going. Which is pretty cool, but like if you back off a little bit over here, you don't really hear them at all. So basically that's what a cardboard box looks like, and with diesel heater inside, and I'll show you one in the caravan that you can actually see the guts of it and how it's all working. I'll just turn that off because I've got the fire going in here, and we don't really need the diesel heater going. So yeah, it's cranking out now, so there's a bit of fan noise in that. There's quite a bit of air movement in them, so it heats this room up and the bedroom up in like 2 seconds. I shouldn't waste this toilet paper. Coronavirus. It's like $6 worth of toilet paper there. So we'll turn him off. It's just a long press to turn it off. And what you can do on here too is basically this up and down. It just changes the temperature of it, and it just essentially changes the quickness of the pump and the fan speed. So you're just dumping more fuel in with the temperature change. You get a really neat little remote control, and I'll show you that up in the caravan. Alright, so in the caravan, which this is going to be a bit of a disjointed video, this is flashing forward a long way in the caravan episode, so the sneak peek at the interior. We'll put the diesel heater under here, so that's the outlet, same outlet as down in the bathroom, and basically all the rest of the guts are under the seat. So I'll take the cushions off quickly and then we'll go and have a look at it. Alright, cool, so solar charger's doing its thing. There's a couple of battery chargers and stuff. I'll talk about that later in the caravan videos, I think. I hope I do. And this one here is the diesel heater. So that's what's inside that wooden box. Basically I've got a controller lead going out in amongst a bunch of other stuff, and then just a really short outlet on this guy to the other side of this wall. And then on the underside of the caravan, I'll hop outside and show you the muffler and everything. And essentially it's exactly the same unit. I got both at the same time. So this controller is just hidden down here, and currently see it's lit up but not on. So same controller. Alright, so excuse the spiderwebs, but that's the little muffler, and that guy just comes straight out that blank plate below. You can see the clean air intake over there and the little fuel line going in next to it. Now that fuel line travels down the chassis rail and out under here. I just didn't want to keep the fuel anywhere inside the caravan. Just diesel's pretty icky and smells a bit, so if you can keep it somewhere else, it's always a good thing. And I've just got him sitting here behind these plumbing hoses. That's the fuel tank there. So it's just screwed to that back wall, and I just fill it up with a little siphoning hose so it doesn't leak anywhere. And that just goes straight out the bottom along the chassis rail and back to the actual diesel heater. It's really neat there. It saves bit of space and inside the caravan. And it's just easy to fill there, thanks to the gas bottle and everything else. So I got the 5 kilowatt system. I don't know if it's actually outputting anywhere near 5 kilowatts, but I do know that in a 17-foot caravan or a bathroom bedroom set up in the corner of a house, that it's so efficient. Like that guy, I have to run it on the lowest setting, otherwise the rooms get, or the caravan gets so hot. Like it's unbearable. So I reckon one unit would be perfect for like a shed, like a little shed setup if I had doors and a blocked window, or like obviously a big motorhome. There's so many possible scenarios to use them in. So out there on eBay there's I think a 2.5, a 5 and an 8. Definitely a 5 and an 8 kilowatt. I wouldn't even bother with the 8s. I think it's exactly the same model as the 5, they just put different branding on them. And they all seem to be the same sort of kit. The only thing I would try and look at when you get the kits is just make sure you get one that's got a muffler. A lot of them don't have the muffler. It helps a little bit with the sound of the exhaust. Obviously, that's what a muffler does. Apart from that, don't think you can go wrong. I just went for the grey and black colouring ones because I had the first one like that. It was really good. It's got the second one the same thing like a week later. So I'll put a link below, and yeah, you'll love it. Especially in the middle of winter when you're working in a car or something in the shed and your fingers are all cold. So awesome bang for buck for 120, 130 bucks, whatever they are. Yeah, that's sort of a really quick review on diesel heaters and why I've got 2 of them, one of them running in the house and one of them running in a caravan. See ya!